Hey everybody, the other day I decided to start looking into bidets. I don't know what inspired me, but because I've never even experienced one. But I started doing some homework, and I did quite a bit of homework, and one of the things that was turning me off about them was that they were cold water, and the thought of cold water didn't sound particularly appealing. But in any event, I kept looking and I arrived at one. It's called the Luxe, and it's their top of the line model. It's the Neo 320, and I'll put a link down in the description if that helps. But it has a warm water feature. It also has a feminine wash feature for the women to be able to wash their lady parts, and so we can all live like kings and queens. And but one of the things that I knew, and it was a holdback even once I found the warm water one, is that I know these things don't heat the water themselves, that the way to access warm water is through the hot water line that to your sink, which is not a big deal. However, I also know that just like it takes a while for hot water to get from your hot water heater to your sink, it's going to take a while for the hot water to arrive at the bidet. And so are you going to have to endure cold water until the hot water arrives? But then, and if you'll hang on to the end, I'm going to show you a little trick where we're not going to have to deal with that we can get the warm water in the lines and access that straight away. But for now, I'm going to do a quick unbox of this thing because it just arrived. I ordered it the other day, just arrived, and then I'm going to do a very brief overview of the install. I'm not going to get into the finite detail, but we'll get it up and running, and let's see what we think of it. And here we have it, the Luxe Neo 320. #1 bidet brand in America. How about that? And based on what I had found out from my research, that's probably the case. Lots of good reviews. Let's see what we got here. We got a nice carrying handle. I guess have bidet will travel. I don't think that was really necessary, but what do we got here? Let's see, save on toilet paper. That's pretty good. 15-minute DIY installation, and that's probably about right. Very easy to do. 10 times cleaner than wiping. Great for the whole family. Get the full hygienic experience at home. And let's see, a little brief overview of the install. Install, wash, and enjoy. Okay. And then this is a little bit more about the features and so on. But let's open it up and see what we got inside. We have, oh, look at that. They give you little plastic wrenches. That's, I'll use my own, but that's, I guess, a nice touch. This right here, I'll bet that's a little mini Teflon tape, which is pretty kind of cool. This is the braided line. It's the cold water line. This line here is the hot water line that we're going to use to access the hot water under the sink. Here is the bidet itself. Let me pull it out of the package so we can get a better look at it. Tear this open. And out it comes. Maybe. And we've got these rings here that go there and there. But let me turn it around. We have the feminine wash. We have the rear wash. And then we have the clean nozzle. This controls our temperature, cold, all the way to hot. And then this is, you lift up on it, and this is how you control, let's call it the throttle. Okay. And everything seems pretty straightforward. We'll remove the stickers and get right to it. And incidentally, unlike most men, I'm gonna go ahead and read the instruction manual, and just sometimes the manufacturers will give you some pretty good little tricks in there if you just take the time to read it, and I'm gonna do that for you. Okay, first we're gonna turn off the water. All the way off, good and snug. Next, we want to remove the toilet seat. Easy to do. All we do is pop those open, one on each side. We unscrew those. We want to hang on to the little, there's wing nuts on the underside. We hang on to those as we unscrew these, then that toilet seat will just lift off. And there we have it, lifts right off. This is a good time to clean. It can get gnarly here where the seat adjoins the toilet. Good time to clean it, and that portion of the seat where you can't get access to it otherwise. Next, we're going to set our bidet in place, and it comes with these rings, and they're designed to be able to turn them so that you can align with the holes. Mine seem to line up pretty well. If I go with these notches right here, if you can see them, and that just pops, whoops, pops in place. Yep. And that lines up with my holes. And then I take my seat and I drop the screws right back down through there, and then tighten them down. And done. Now on to the water connections. Can we do this even if we don't know anything about it? Yep, no problem. Next, we're going to disconnect our water line from the toilet. And there will be a little bit of water inside that line, but actually it won't be much. And we'll just leave that just like that. Next, they've supplied this little T adapter. We just want to double check that it's got its rubber washer in there. And we're gonna tighten that down on here. And we'll get it good and hand tight is all we need. Now we're going to resecure our water line. We want to make sure we don't cross thread that. There we go. And we want it good and hand tight. Okay, that's good. Then I also used a pair of channel locks just to kind of give both of those connections a good snug turn. And that's cute. They did give us a little bit of Teflon tape. That's nice. What you do with that, where you have a metal-to-metal connection, where you're going to have, with this braided line as it attaches, you can see that's metal-to-metal. So what we do is you take that Teflon tape, and we wrap it around the threads clockwise about 3 times, and that's all we need to do. Then we're going to attach our braided line that they gave us. And we're going to do both sides. And then this, I think, is brilliant. On the line itself, there's a wing nut. It's got a fitting for that end to tighten it down. And then you just slide it to this end, and it fits that, and you tighten that down. Very clever. Now we want to work on our hot water line. So we want to go under the sink. The left side is hot. So we're going to turn that clockwise all the way until it stops. I'm going to reach up and turn on the hot water on the sink. Make sure nothing's coming out. It's not. So we're good there. Okay, now that that's off, I'm going to disconnect that water supply line right at that coupling right there. And I'm going to use an adjustable wrench. I put a little bucket down here to catch any residual water that may have been in that line.
Then they've given us another T adapter, just like the other one. We made sure that there's a washer inside of it like there's supposed to be. Metal to metal connection. I used Teflon tape again. Got it snugged down. You can see I've reattached my supply line to the sink and got that snugged down. Next, we attach the hot water line to the bidet, and as a little bonus, they've also given us this little wing nut to tighten it down. That's pretty handy. That's pretty snug right there. And then that'll just slide off the other end. Next, I need to make an access for that water line to get into the cabinet. My cabinet is up on feet, so I can come in through the bottom. You may need to go through the side if you're doing this. And I've got a 1/2" bit in here. 3/8 would have worked, but it would have been tight for that water line. So I'm just doing a 1/2. This is where I'm going in. And done. No problem. And in comes the water line. Okay, you can see I installed that T-fitting that they gave us. I used Teflon tape. This is our hot water line coming from the valve to the bidet. Turn the water on. I will say that you want to make sure you use a good amount of Teflon tape. The first time I put it together and turned the water on, I had a little leaker. So I took it back apart and put a little bit more, and everything's fine. I always, when I'm working on this kind of stuff, afterwards, I always like to leave a bucket just in case. Now we'll turn on the water at the toilet. And we'll turn this on and make sure we don't have any leaks. No leaks there. No leaks at the bidet. Nothing underneath. Okay. Now, I promised you if you waited till the end that I would tell you what I believe to be the trick to getting the hot water in through the line so that you're not having to endure cold water until the hot water gets here. And it's got a nozzle clean mode. So I would turn it to that. I would turn it all the way to hot. And I would let the nozzles clean themselves. And that would bring the hot water in through the lines so that by the time you're ready to use it, it should be nice and warm for you. Okay, I was feeling down in there the temperature of the water as I was waiting for it to get warm, and it did not. And then I turned it to cool and it got warm. So what I did, me being the genius that I am, I inadvertently put the wrong connections here. This is the cold water, this is the hot. And now if you turn it to nozzle clean and hot, if you feel it, yep, the water is good and hot. Okay, now what you've all been waiting for, I'm actually going to give it a shot, no pun intended. I've let the water run on nozzle clean, hot water, enough time for the water to have gotten into the system. So now I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, never done this before. How does it know? I was wondering if my position would be just right. Wow. I feel kind of strange sitting here doing this on camera, but wow. And then the feminine wash, I just want to see where
Okay, that shoots further forward, so that I could see where that would work just perfectly for the women. Dial your temperature just exactly how you like it. Wow. Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I was concerned about how I was positioned on here, but it knows to hit it bullseye. Anyway, the link's in the description if anybody's interested. And anybody could put this in. It's not difficult at all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.